everybody. How you doing out there? I see you looking all awesome. I see you out there in Radio Land. What's up? This is Dr. Val with Brown Sugar Confessions, the one and only talk show that you're going to get on Power 1017. Y'all need to get to YouTube and look at us because we got on onesies. Can I say how cute we all look? I have like a little leopard onesie on with curls. You can't tell me nothing right now, y'all. I am looking fierce. I hate to say it. KD, what's up with you, love? You look awfully cute. What you got?
Hey, so I am wearing a little deer onesie. I love my onesie. I just grabbed this little guy and I am now probably about to become a onesie addict because I had one, but I didn't have any animal ones. And I saw a unicorn, but it was a size small. So I'm probably about to raid every store for all of their onesies. Yep.
Right. For sure. Miss T, how's life with you, love?
Well, it looks like summer's trying to come back in Atlanta. So there's that. The alien onesie is back. The alien onesie is back. So that works. Also, I don't think we got to talk about it briefly any at all last week, but happy we're out of Mercury retrograde, everybody. Happy full moon in Aries. If you guys are of the astrology types, you know what that means. So onward forward.
I'm not the astrology type of person, to be honest. I forget, one of y'all normally let me know what's going on, but I'm really bad at it. But thank you for letting us know. Oh my goodness. And Jenny C, what's up with you?
Hello there from Salt Lake City. I am recuperating nicely from my emergency root canal surgery. Oof. Here's the thing, y'all. Don't forget post-operative care must be taken care of. I thought they would just drill the root out and I would be pain-free. And I've been dosing nicely with Advil and Tylenol, like many pills.
Wow. I'm glad you're recovering. You can talk tonight because you are the hit for this whole segment on breast cancer, relationships, and sex. So you're going to be talking tonight. Love, you feeling all right?
Yes.
Good. Awesome. Trice, what's up with you? Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I am doing great. Just still moving in, getting reacquainted with all of my stuff in the house. I'm finding stuff that we thought was lost and it's in other boxes. But other than that, just enjoying this upstate. No, I'm lying. I'm not enjoying this rainy weather. Stop.
Listen, guys, I'm sure you know the drill by now. Make sure that you like and subscribe to us on YouTube. We have a really cool contest. We're going to talk about that later on tonight. And make sure that you send all of your emails to us at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. We're going to read your emails live on the air. So go ahead and send them to us. And as always, if you have any sexual concerns, relationship concerns that you may have, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Valerie@Swan Center. That's SWANN Center.com. And you can only get us here every Wednesday night at 11 o'clock on Power 1017. And I do believe that Miss T has a hot topic that's really hot for the week. What's going on?
Oh man, it's pretty interesting. But first, before I go into this, can we give acknowledgement to Dr. Val's eyeshadow real quick because it matches her onesie, and I'm looking at it like that's really nice, and I realized like, oh, it goes with the onesie. It makes sense. For Radioland, if you don't know, Dr. Val has like this pink eyeshadow with like a black cut crease, and she's got like the island goddess wavy wet curls going on. She's a hot goddess right now. I just need y'all to appreciate that with me.
Don't talk about me, but send me your numbers though.
Yeah.
But moving on into this hot topic. So does anybody know of the she's from Love and Hip Hop? Her name is Sydney Starr. Have you ever heard of her?
No.
Okay. So Sydney Starr is one of the people from Atlanta Baddies and Love and Hip Hop. And apparently she is a trans model. So for trans model, I'm assuming that's for her, it would be male to female. I'm not sure. But long story short, she has posted online that she has been in a relationship with Darius McCrary. If you're not sure who Darius McCrary is, that is Eddie Winslow from the 90s sitcom Family Matters.
That's who that is. I saw that. Okay.
Yeah. So she said they have been dating since February. He says that that's not the case. But there are pictures that I guess she had posted of her and him kind of standing side by side and this, that, whatever. So if you read the articles, it looks like a big he said, she said, like she said they're in a relationship. He says there ain't. Nobody's really, I think like the Shade Room had posted about it, but they also took it down. So it's one of those things where I guess it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of he said, she said, but I would hate for it to be the fact that it's real and he's denying it or it's fake. I think it would be worse if it's fake and she's just using that to try to boost herself back into celebrity stardom. How do you all feel about this? Let's start from the corner. Miss KD, how do you feel?
You must have saw that I was ready to start talking. So first things first, I'm sorry, but I know that people are messy sometimes, but I feel that in the year 2021, you're going to be hard pressed to find a trans woman just make stuff up out of nowhere. It's too dangerous out here. I know it's possible, but I just don't think it's likely. So I think that most likely this is a real thing. However, because it receives so much publicity, I feel like we have toxic masculinity and men, unfortunately, are still caught up in this whole male bravado thing. And people are saying, oh, she's trans, he's gay. He's, of course, going to come and say, no, this isn't happening, instead of just admitting that he's in love with her, or maybe not in love, but they have a relationship or whatever. And, just speaking up for himself and for her. And I hope she sees this and sees that he's garbage and move on with her life, because he's not willing to just live in their truth. If she's lying, whatever, but I highly doubt it. People just ain't coming up lying about that.
That's also true. Jenny C, how you feeling?
Well, here's this. Yeah, I do want I do have a clarification question, Miss Katie, because from a lot of people inadvertently expose biases, even the way they describe the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a trans male to female, you're female. So for someone to like you does not make them non-cisgender. Does that make sense? So I just want to make sure that is clarified. And having children who are both in the LGBTQ plus community, I completely agree. They don't expose themselves unnecessarily, even if they want to rise to fame. They're so vulnerable, this community, very much in danger most of their lives, all the time, 24/7 type of thing. Even if it's made up, I would still be worried about the safety of that person.
I think that's my thing that I'm more worried about, is if this is fake, that's some serious repercussions, because people are out here wilding in 2021. So I hope that's not the case. But if that's not the case, I really want him to at least stand up for himself and be like, yeah, either yes, we are in a relationship, or no, we're really good friends. And, this is my friend. Y'all just going to have to live with that or something, How you feel, Miss Tracy?
I feel like Katie feels. People are not just outing themselves like that for no reason. Weren't there just a bunch of women that were just murdered behind this? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a joke. And I saw the picture of them giving each other pecks on the lips.
Oh, see, I missed that one.
Yeah. I but does anybody else remember that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, wasn't there the same thing that happened to him before?
Oh, no, I never
Really?
heard
That
about
seems
it.
vaguely. Now that you say so,
Right?
I didn't know who this was when I saw the article. I was just like, that person looks familiar. Now that
Yeah,
you
he
say
just
that,
looks.
I think you are
Oh.
right. Yeah.
So this ain't the first time. What he has shown this time is that he is willing to throw the person that he is interested underneath the
Mhm.
bus to save his own buttocks. And for me,
Ah.
he deserves, for me, if you're gonna throw somebody else to the wolves, and you at least you're not gonna stand in this fire with me,
Right.
you don't deserve me.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
don't deserve anything that I am. You don't deserve it, because you're not even willing to stand in this with me and admit that you were with me. You can see the video where they're smooching each other,
Ah.
but they're just friends. Look, don't get me wrong. I smooch on my friends too. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I get weird. I get weird with my friends.
I get smooched by my friends. I'm okay
I
with
must.
it though.
I'm very much into platonic love. I get that, but the way the body language in those videos, in those pictures, is not friendly related. And the fact that we've been through this, and I don't even want to say we've been through this, we've known about his preferences for a long time. So why is anybody surprised by this? And two, why does anybody care?
That's true.
Exactly.
I think that's the
Mhm.
biggest thing, is like it just came out all of a sudden. Like I don't, well, apparently it hasn't been all of a sudden, but it just like, oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then you kind of read a little deeper and you're like, and you see the counter article and you're like, okay, this is bigger than anticipated.
Yeah, but then again, like, that's everybody who's bored in their own life trying to tell you how to live theirs. Boo, get a life.
Also true.
Get a life.
How you feel about this, Dr. Val?
You know, here's what I'm going to say. And this is regardless of your gender and your sexual preference. I am not your secret.
Mm.
Period. I am not your secret. I am not anyone that chooses to be someone's secret in a relationship. Why? If you could not walk me out among your friends, your family, your cohorts, whatever, we have a deeper problem. And I think that should go for all relationships. I'm not a secret. And I don't know what that means, but just for me, I'm not a secret. And if whatever his preference is, it's unfortunate that he can't live in his truth and be authentic as to the man that he is. He's a grown behind man. He's not a kid. And it's unfortunate he cannot walk out and be proud and say what he likes without any shame. But there, especially if in the African American community, there's so much shame around being with anyone that is gay or trans. There's this whole, you're not man enough, you're not this, you're not that enough. And it keeps people closed. You can't live in your truth because out of fear and shame. And I mean, it's 21. So when are we going to grow up in this and quit hiding people? It's ridiculous. And for the young lady that he's with, girl, you should not have stayed in a relationship with him that long if he's going to keep you a secret. That's just my take on it. No, I'll probably get some emails on that. But yeah, that's the hashtag of the week. I'm not your secret.
I am not your secret. That's
Not
deep.
your secret. Yes, absolutely. And speaking of secrets, we're going to jump right in because, people's sexual fantasies and play practices, a lot of people keep in secret, right? Especially BDSM. We were talking about it the last 2 weeks, and this week, I think you guys recall, like all the episodes, we're going to gear them towards, Kinktober, so it's all BDSM, and then we're going to go into breast cancer, sexuality, and relationships, talking to Jenny C. But I want to go back to talking about BDSM and people keeping that a secret because of shame that they like this kind of play. So why do y'all think that is? Let's have a conversation. Like, why are people so ashamed to say, I play BDSM?
Because a lot of the general public is not ready for the truth. They don't know how to handle it because we, at least for Americans, we do not handle open sexuality well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like we're always told that stays in the bedroom. Nobody should know what you're doing in the sheets. So everybody's just kind of like sneaking and hiding.
Exactly. Right. And you don't have to put it in the street, right? But
Mhm.
you should be able to, if someone says, this is what I like, this is what you like, without made to feel like you're some kind of, foreigner or stranger or some alien because you simply enjoy a little slap and tickle, right? What do you think, Trice?
I completely agree. I think that there are two, in fact, the people keeping secrets are the main one doing really dirty dirt.
Well,
Yeah, think about it. Think about all the pastors and the fathers. As as a former sex worker, and I'm gonna just say it, I was a stripper, whatever. And I was a stripper in Central Texas and traveled all over to a lot of different strip clubs. Um, my best customers were the pastors, the fathers,
Mm-hmm.
all of them. They gave me bank, bank, bank.
Mm-hmm.
All them Sunday ties y'all was giving. Thank you.
it wasn't going to the roof. It was going to somebody.
That building fund, y'all helped me build my life. Thank you.
In the name, we're gonna keep right on moving.
Amen.
I honestly believe that a lot of people think it's abuse. That's what I think. And so when they think that, like, because they're ignorant about the practice, then they're ashamed and say, well, I let someone, spank me or flog me or whip me, or I'm gonna say it, fist me, whatever, because they're believing that it could be abuse, because a lot of people are ignorant about what BDSM is. But I'm here to let you guys know that if you want to play in this, it's not abuse. You need, as we mentioned last week, you really need to like interview your doms and your subs, like, really check them out and do your homework. And if you missed the last week's episode, hit it on YouTube right now. Go back to the last episode at Brown Sugar Confessions on YouTube and check it out, because we really go into detail about, what makes a good dom, what makes a good sub. And we also spoke about why it's not abuse, because there are some people enter into contracts, about what can be done, what can't be done. Some of them are quite elaborate. I've seen one that's 4 pages with check boxes, disclaimers, confidentiality agreements. I've seen all different types of contracts. And then couples are in relationships, or they just want to play. They just have verbal, honey, do this, do that. I don't want this. And in the field or the play arena with BDSM, you have what's most important is the safe word. Whatever word that you and your partner come up with, that word stops the action immediately. If your partner does not abide by that safe word, find yourself a brand new partner, because that's a line that could be looked at to be abusive, because you gave really strict guidelines of what you want. You've used your safe word. And if they're crossing it, seriously, double think about it. What do you think, Trice? Because I know you played a little bit, or maybe you didn't. I don't know. Did you?
No, I've played. I've had full blown out. Anytime I enter a relationship, we have contracts. And what I will and will not do, what is and is not allowed, confidentiality, pictures, because that is a part of it, right? You want to relive the moment. Like, pictures have to be destroyed when the relationship comes to an end. If they're not, and I find out that you've shared them with someone, I have the right to sue you, and you will pay for my lawyer and my court costs.
Here we go, Laura. We're going to lawyer up if you got them pictures out there.
You have to protect yourself in all these situations. but yeah, talking to your dom, and you know what, you can even ask, like, who are your subs before? May I please talk to them?
Absolutely, yeah. And if you're going to a professional dominatrix or dame or whatever name you want to use, and as I've said, I think a couple of times, the slave and master, that phraseology has gone away. So people don't really use that anymore that are in the scene. It's dame, domina. It's words like that: top, bottom, sub, dom. You'll find those words used more now in the scene. But let me ask you guys a question. If you're not in a relationship with someone, or you're in a relationship, but this person that you're with does not want to play in the fantasy of BDSM, what do you do? Where do you go to find someone to play with you? That's a question I have for you guys that you're not in a relationship with. Where do you go?
How much of a relationship are you in is the real question.
What do you mean?
Like, are we in like a couple of months? Are we a couple of years? Are we about to be married? Because I feel like if this is a couple of months and you ask this person, at some point you're going to have to tell that person that you're in this lifestyle.
Right.
If that person's not okay with this, then why would you continue to be in a relationship with them?
Because you love them. Because you love them, and you realize that not everybody can supply you with the kind of love that you need or the kind of attention.
That's fair. But if, say, for example, okay, I'm with a guy, and this is hypothetical, like, so I'm with a guy who does not do that. But I think if he knows that that is what I do, he would be comfortable enough to let me do that with other people. If he says you can't do that while I'm in this relationship with you, then that's a problem.
Okay. All right. And that's something between you and your partner that you guys decide. But that's called open communication, though. That's what you've got to have, is to be authentic in your relationship without fear, and say, honey, whether it's been 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, or 20 years, because even if you've been married for 5 years, I won't use the word marriage, but in a relationship for 5 years, and now you're going on 20 years, your sexual experiences may change. Your sexual desires may change. And your partner should give you permission. It's like a tide to ride the wave, whatever you want to try something new now, or maybe they want to try something new. And I think we often get stuck in ruts, in our sexual play. Where we don't want to experience and experiment because we don't understand, or we have some kind of shame or guilt. So I will tell you guys, a good place to go is, there are many clubs in most cities now, even small underground places in Delaware where I am. There are some small dungeons you can go in. And, some places even have lists of DOMs that, you can work with in those clubs, like on a bulletin board. There's also many websites to go to, and we'll list them on YouTube for you, and in Patreon, by the way. Make sure you hit that up so that you can go on those websites and you can look around for DOMs that are also advertising, and subs. They happen both ways. I never tell people to go to Craigslist ever, but I know people do. I'm just not going to tell you to go there.
Please don't.
That sounds sketch.
I wouldn't go there, but people do. People do advertise there. People also do classifieds in their local papers. I've seen a couple back in the day. I don't know what they do them now because papers are dead. But there are places that you can go, especially online bulletins, and we're going to list them, where you can find someone that you might want to play with. So I know right now that Katie's got to take us to break. Girl, what's going on?
It's bill paying time. So we're going to step away for a few minutes. I need you guys to go grab your snacks, have a nice drink, and we're going to come back to some more BDSM when Brown Sugar Confessions return.
Only on Power 1017.
Welcome back to Brown Sugar Confessions. Did everyone grab their snacks? Did you grab your red wine and your drinks?
Does
Are you
mustard
guys
count?
ready? Y'all ready?
We're ready, girl.
Ready.
Do not forget to like, share, subscribe to all of our channels on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Make sure you share. Make sure you tell your friends, tell your cousin, tell your auntie, tell everybody to watch Brown Sugar Confessions and to listen to us on Power 1017. So if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask the show, you can send them to brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. And if you would like to get a consultation or to talk to Dr. Val, you can reach out to her at Valerie at Swan Center. That's SWANN Center.com. Miss T, I hear you have something for us. What you got?
Man, listen. Okay, so we talked about it last week. We are looking for a guest host to hang out with us on the wall. If you can see it here at Brown Sugar Confessions, we are getting our guest hosts lined up. We got some great people lined up, but we want to hear from one of you. Who wants to come up here and confess with us?
What do they have to do to join us on this wall? We're on a wall right now, by the way.
So if you would like to be one of our guest hosts, we are having a drawing for guest hosts. And our drawing will take place on November 11th. So here is what you need to do. So first, bring your ear to the speaker. Bring your ear to the speaker. All right, we're ready?
Ready.
If you can, like and subscribe to our YouTube, our Facebook, and our Instagram, and bring a friend. Each of those actions will give you an entry into our drawing. You have a max of up to 4 entries you can get into the drawing. And then on November 11th, we will do our drawing. We will announce it. And our guest host will be with us in December for Brown Sugar Confessions. So we want to see your name in our proverbial jar. May the odds be in your favor. Can't wait to see you. So don't forget, if you are one of the ones out there in radio land, YouTube land, who wants to be on the show and confess with us, you know what you need to do? Get on it. All right. So with that being said, we have another hot topic also. Miss Trice, your hot topic is going to be an interesting one. So what do you have to tell to us?
Usa. Okay, so we're gonna get into it, and I want to talk to everybody honestly. You know, the world is opening back up. People are pretending like COVID is not real, and they are wilding out. So with everything opening back up, we know that people are traveling, right? Now, are you going to the hotel, and are you being as safe as possible? Now, you may think because you've checked into a Days Inn or one of these hotels that you're safe. You're wrong.
What?
You're wrong.
What you mean I'm wrong?
Look, the uptick in sex trafficking and kidnapping is way up.
Wow.
I have done some research because on a website called Travel Noir, they posted an account from a woman who happened to be at a Trice hotel. And I'm going to read what she said happened, what the clerk said to her, and then how the hotel chain is responding.
Whoa, lay it on us.
So a woman at a Cambria hotel in Washington, D.C. has gone public with her recent ordeal about suspicious behavior after a recent stay. This promoted at least 15 other women who had traveled by themselves to come forward and say they had the same thing happen to them. Do you see?
What?
It's from one woman to 15 women at the same place.
Wow.
Please be careful.
Wow.
Woman by the name of Maya Angelique detailed how she was allegedly attempted kidnapped in her room. I was in the shower around 1 a.m. when a man with dreads wearing a blue shirt, jeans, and a mask tried to violently break into my room. He somehow had a key to open my door. She went to explain it to the front desk clerk, and she said, "Oh, that's just housekeeping."
First of
Wow.
all, housekeeping ain't banging on nobody's door like that.
Exactly.
Housekeeping at 1 o'clock is not a
No.
real thing. If you've ever
No.
worked in the hotel industry, you know that
Housekeeping is not 1 a.m.
housekeeping is not 1 a.m. Housekeeping is in the morning and afternoon. If there is housekeeping, it is the front desk or the maintenance person that is doing the housekeeping because they are reducing hours to cut pay. We know that, right?
Wow.
So when she reported this, the front desk person that just said, oh, it's housekeeping, the hotel chain has responded with, we are highly concerned about the incident at the franchise property in Washington, D.C. We recently learned about, we are in contact with hotel management to conduct a full review and investigation of the incident and the reports of other guests. We take our guest safety seriously. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but we all happen to be at Jewels of the Orient run by Dr. Val. Do you remember this, Dr. Val, 3 years ago? When the hotel clerk gave you the room key to a woman that was already staying in the room and it happened to be the hotel owner or manager? Remember that?
Oh God, I do remember that. That was a cluster.
Oh boy.
What?
But do you
do
see,
remember
you
that.
see how simple, how easy it is just to duplicate a key and hand it to someone? Where I live, we have recently had an uptick in sex trafficking in some hotels in the area with children as young as 13 and a half. I do want to say that there are actually a lot of hotels that people are saying to avoid because there have been ongoing investigations that involve human trafficking. The hotels are Ascend, Cambria, which Comfort, Sleep Inn, Quality Inn, Clarion Point, Mainstay Suites, Wood Spring Suites, Suburban, Eco Lodge, and Roadway Inns. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. We stayed in a Mainstay in South Carolina when we were going to Disney World. We decided to drive down and have like a whole National Lampoon's Family Wally World vacation. While we were in the hotel room, I was nervous, couldn't sleep because I was excited about Disney. And I happened to go to the window to look out the window, and there was somebody standing outside of my window.
What?
Oh.
It was me, my 2 kids, and we're just like, look, I'm from Texas already. I'm already packing. So it was not a big deal for me to be like, oh, I'm just going to blast you in the face, whatever.
Right.
But if you're traveling by yourself and you do not have a weapon, there are these special locks that you can get for your door. There has been a video going around where a man tried to break into a room of a 16-year-old girl that was traveling with her father. He slid something underneath the door to pull the door handle down and open the door.
What?
Yes. This is, when I say this is serious, I'm saying this with all the love from Brown Sugar Confessions. We want each and every one of you and your families to be safe. Please practice safety when you're traveling. There are these things called hotel lock doors. Just look them up. All you have to Google is lock door for hotel. It'll come up. You can get it on Amazon. It's $20. It's something that you slide into the deadbolt. So you can't open the door from the outside. You manually have to pull it apart to open the door, even from the inside.
What happened to just putting a chair up under the door lock?
Doesn't work because some doors don't have that. Some doors don't have that lock that capability to put the chair underneath there. And some hotels don't even have a chair in it. Remember, it's just a key lock now.
What about those little things you put over top? I always
some hotels don't have those.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I ain't stayed in a hotel in so long. Now this makes me even less likely to do it.
Yeah. So please, if you know someone that's traveling, please make sure that they turn on their, like, where they at, have them check in. And I don't mean to be this like, oh, worry, but we know that there is an uptick in this happening and we all need to practice safety, please.
Right. So everyone be vigilant out there, and we're going to put the name of that lock that Trice just mentioned on YouTube. We're going to put that on there and talk about it. Stay
Right.
safe out there, people, seriously. So, you know, guys, we have been speaking now for the last 2 weeks about breast cancer, its awareness, and its impact on families, relationships, and sexuality. And Jenny C., who has shared with us her story of being a breast cancer survivor, has been with me throughout this whole journey as we talked about the impacts of breast cancer on a family, but especially the relationship. And so we're going to continue that conversation. So if you haven't listened to it, go back to YouTube at Brown Sugar Confessions, check it out, like and subscribe to it. Send us an email, actually, if you're going through breast cancer. And if Jenny C can, you know, if you address it to Jenny C or address it to me, we'll get it to Jenny C. She can take a look at it and maybe even, you know, suggest some things, because we got to be in this together to help each other with this. It impacts all socioeconomic backgrounds, racial backgrounds. It affects everyone. And so in this together, we can talk about it and move forward. Because the idea is, you know, once you go through the effects of breast cancer, Jenny C., you've gotten whatever treatments that you've had, and you've been successful, right? So now you're living, right? You've gotten that, your breast cancer is in remission. So my question to you is now, how do you go back and try to bring back the intimacy and the sexuality and the sex in the relationship? Because for months, right? Or maybe years, some people months, you've been fighting the fight to live. Am I right about that?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good way of segueing into this very important topic, right? If you're anyone who's undergone a life-threatening illness and now after aggressive treatment, you're given this pass. You're whatever free. Go forth and enjoy your life. And you're like, well, how do I do that? Because
Right.
you know, because your body's totally different. Even your spirit's different.
So talk about the spirit. I didn't even think about that. But the spirit's different. How so? What does that look like?
Well, I know you asked me to present 5 suggestions of how to tackle intimacy, and I think that the most important one, for me, because of my histories of traumas and my ways of dealing with it when I got breast cancer on top of those past traumas, it kind of made my very carefully constructed straw house come tumbling down. Because the realness that no one talks about is how important therapy is during treatment, post-treatment, and therapy can be couples and or trauma-centered therapy for the survivor and also the survivor's family, their couple, the coupleness, even if they're a parent or if they're a child and they have parents taking care of them. There's that first layer of trauma, the most sensitive, which is, whoa, you're sick. And how does the family deal with that initially? And then how do they survive beyond it?
Right.
But then beyond those layers are the traumas that we've each individually brought into the situation. And if that has not been addressed, getting cancer will exacerbate them. It shakes your core. So when I say, you know, therapy in whatever way you as a listener can tolerate. Some people don't want to go to a therapist, but they have other ways of being therapeutic and addressing the trauma of treatment and then any outlying traumas that they didn't deal with.
So one of the things what I hear you saying is that you should seek someone for therapy, or, and I love what you just said, if it's not therapy, some type of therapeutic system or method for you to heal.
Yes,
right?
yes. That's number one, because if you allow the hurt parts of yourself a voice, right? Then they're not trapped in that time of pain, whenever that is.
Mm.
And then that allows, for me, it's been a big deal to allow all the different parts of me that are trapped in my traumas that, we could do a whole Oprah show on this, but, to allow all of them a voice and a light, it illuminates so much. And then you can go to my second tip is to make sure that you fill your cup, your own personal cup of self-care together with your partner. And what does that mean? Like, get your sleep.
Sleep is essential.
Sleep is essential. Get your liquid inside you. We're mostly water. We need replenishment. You could do liquid IV. You can drink your shakes, anything that continues to help you literally fill yourself with more hydration. Now you can eat healthy meals together. That leads to my third tip, which is play together. That's been fundamental. You ever notice, for me anyways, and I think a lot of us, we've really bonded through laughter, the five of us. But my best, right? We bond through laughter.
Yeah.
And true play, you always end up laughing in some way. That's an integral part of play. There's a joy in it. And if you can play with your partner, some people want to do those paint nights. Other people want to watch a funny show. Artists might do not completely non-artistic things because that's play for them, right? Anything that you guys can find a middle ground. 4 would be flirt a lot.
Oh, I like
because I feel like that makes you more sensitive to each other in ways that went dormant during the treatment. And lastly, which is really important, schedule intimate times together where sex is not expected. Just moments where you can maybe be naked in front of each other. Because if you've had any type of surgery, I know my seeing myself in the mirror would change from hour to hour, day to day. I went into menopause during the chemo. So that meant my body went through huge changes when I went into menopause. And it still continues to do so 7 years post. And so if you can get yourself as a person who's healing physically from the treatment to be comfortable being more naked. Some of us are very shy, so I'm not asking you to stress yourself out thinking about being naked other than in your shower.
Right.
But, you can wear, a flowy Kaftan outfit. Those always make us feel very sexy because you're not bound in it. You can wear no undies, go commando under it. Then that could help you feel like flirty and sexy. And those, sensual is the word for it. But those 5 things ultimately led to me actually being able to be aroused. If none of those things are happening, it won't matter how long that poor man is trying to get some part of my body to wake up. It's just they're just kind of nope, try another day because her cup is not full right now.
Right. That's powerful, Jenny C. That is really powerful. So those 5 tips that Jenny just put out, which, really touched me, especially when you said the play together and flirting. I think even, those that haven't gone through cancer, we forget to play, we forget to flirt with our partners. I was like, man, I need to go tease my husband a little bit downstairs. He's been away. But
Side note,
we forget that, right?
Quick question.
Yeah.
Can we have a show about flirting? Because I know me, I probably don't do flirting right. I'm an Aries. People think I'm trying to fight them. And I think I might be flirting, but I'm not sure. So I don't know how to properly flirt, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
let's classify none of that Asian drama flirting. That's not real life.
Okay. See, my life is already messed up because y'all know all I do is anime and Asian period dramas. So I need a class on flirting.
All right, we're going to do some class. You know what? Because that is a real deal. A lot of people don't know how to flirt. We're going to do that. But let's jump back on here to Jenny C. and continue this conversation up. So, Jenny, this is a question I have for you. How or did your skin change? And that might be a dumb question, but here's what I'm thinking, that with all the chemicals and the radiation, did your skin change when you didn't like to be touched, where it hurt? Did it
Mm.
dry out? Did it really get dry and painful and crack and bleed? Share with us if you can.
Okay, you asking me about internal or external, Dr. Val? You never know with you.
I know that is true. We'll go external first, then we'll go internal. Time
Uh,
to live. Let's go external first. Okay.
Okay. Here's something that very few people talk about, and I'm actually glad I'm in my unicorn onesie because it's very comforting. You don't really like to think about those days, but for me, my skin got very, very dry. My nails all started to die and fall out of my hands and my feet.
What?
And yes, and then your heel, all of your feet start to flake a lot, and my heel would crack. It would just get so dry, they would just be cracked and very painful. They call it the Red Death. Some of the chemo cycles, and
the red death.
it's called the Red Death. Yeah,
Like Edgar Allan Poe Red Death?
like when they begin injecting you with it, you if you go pee within 20 minutes, it's a bright pink. It goes through your system that fast.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got a very interesting allergic reaction to it where they were still doing IVs to my arms, and it was a branch of irritated veins that shot up my arm. You could see it all through my forearm skin. And they're like trying to be calm, like, oh, this is not an allergic reaction. Yeah, we're going to sit here and rub your entire forearm with Benadryl cream and start injecting extra Benadryl. But don't worry, they're trying not to stress me out. And then a couple of the students, Trice will get a kick out of this. They come running over like, not for nothing, we've never seen this before. Can we take a picture of it? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna charge you $100. Go ahead and take a picture. I'm gonna charge you some money. Anyways, now the point is, you do go through these indignities. You lose hair everywhere. Your hair, your eyebrows, your eyelashes, inside your nostrils, your pubic, your legs.
Wow.
I had little hairs on my toes. Those went. I did not regret losing the hairs on my toes, but you know what I'm saying? Like everywhere else, just gone. So neuropathies were the biggest thing, because after the Red Death came T, which is, I'll get you guys the official names of it. I blocked them out of my memory, but that one is what inflames severe neuropathies in your hands and feet. So they start to go numb. You have pain. Even now, every morning I wake up and I put my feet on the ground. It feels like needles going up into my feet every morning when I get up and put my feet on the ground to walk.
Wow.
And that's the nerve damage from the chemotherapy.
Wow.
So that's the outside. Inside, what happens is, if you go into menopause from the chemo, which most of us do, you will go into menopause. And so then internally it becomes thinner. And less lubricant, like almost disappears. So you're more prone to being hurt,
right?
Because it's a thinner layer down there, and it takes a lot longer to become even interested in anything at all beyond like a hug. Even hugs are like, bleh. Because I think what happens is, how we all naturally can put up a barrier. When you're healthy, even when you're not healthy, chemotherapy strips that ability away. You have no buffer. There's no way to kind of, push out people's energy. So literally a hug drains you, because people just can't help themselves. They want to comfort you, but they also want to make, when they hug you when you're on cancer, right? They think you're dying. So then they're sucking affirmation out of you as they're hugging you. I'll give you guys real talk. Yeah. It gets to the point you don't want to hug people, because there's a few people who can give you more energy and hug and give you the energy.
Right.
Wow. I never thought about it like that.
Never thought about that. Jenny, this conversation I think that we've had tonight about post cancer has really personally just touched me the most, because we don't think about, okay, yay, you're out of remission, yay, and life goes on, and yet you get those little bells, and I see people leaving the cancer ward and they get the balloons or whatever they get, and they're leaving, and they're like, yeah, life goes back to normal, but it really doesn't, is what I hear you saying. it really doesn't go back to normal. There's a process. And are you supported post? Are you supported, or is it just done? That's
It's you're I mean, if you're very lucky and your insurance pays for it, and where I'm in that privileged level, right, where I have insurance, they will do the yearly checkups. Sometimes, yeah, they'll do the yearly. I think the first 2 years I was every 6 months. Yes,
But
and
you get released, nothing within like the first month, to say how's your mental health, how's your sexual health, and nothing like that.
no,
Just
no,
say,
no,
hey,
no, 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 no. Jesus, no. Because for them medically, you're healthy. Medical standards, you are, you're good to go. I've been noticing on social media and also on Google and some of my other news feeds, they are starting to come up with more summits to educate post care. So that's great to see. For me, it's more, it's people just being aware. It's okay to feel like I need more. A lot of times we don't want to say, oh, beyond that, I'm really grateful and I'm alive. Now, how do I live with what I have now or what I'm not? Right? It's how do you live with it? It's interesting because you feel guilty. You feel guilty wanting more because other people didn't make it.
Wow.
And so, you know what I mean? I think across the board, any cancer survivors, it's not to differentiate from us expecting more of ourselves because we got the second chance at life. That's different. But in terms of asking for help or needing to set healthy boundaries with people, there's always a little bit of a second guess, oh, I should just be grateful to be alive, and these people have me in their lives, and there's a reason. And sometimes it's easier, I think, to be thrown off course. A lot of us, we want to do everything now. Every single friend, we don't want to let you down. We got a second chance, right? And sometimes it's like, no, we got a second chance because there's other things we're meant to do. And so it is okay, listener, for you to set healthy boundaries. Because the bottom line is, according to the spoon theory story, you guys hear about the spoons?
No.
Okay, so in energy conservation, we're all born, we wake up every morning. Let's say hypothetically 10 spoons. 10 spoons. Every single thing you do that day takes away a spoon or half a spoon. Like, even deciding what to wear. What am I going to eat? Then you work your whole day. That takes up a couple more spoons, right? All of that has to do with taking an energy unit out of you. Has after cancer care, especially chemotherapy and radiation, my spoons are now little teaspoons. And instead of the 90 that I started with, I have 10 teaspoons that I have to be very careful what I decide to use on during the day.
Wow, that's
Interesting.
something, Jenny. See, thank you. So, on that note, we're about to come to our end. This has been a great show for me, just hearing, Jenny's story, talking about BDSM. And I heard Jenny brought it up, but when she talked about her post-recovery, and I'm going to talk about it next week. We're going to talk about aftercare. So maybe if y'all don't know what aftercare is, and I'm going to teach y'all aftercare for BDSM, and maybe you can use it in the post-recovery. I don't know, but we're going to talk about the aftercare, because that's why I personally think BDSM is the best thing in the world, is aftercare. Miss T, talk about this contest before we log off for the night, girl.
Okay, so remember, if you are out there in Radio Land, YouTube Land, wherever you are listening to us, we here at Brown Sugar Confession, the lovely fabulous five, would like to have you on our show to confess. All you have to do is the following. Put your ear back to the speaker. That's the first step. Put your ear back to the speaker. You have to do one or all of the following. Like our Facebook page, Brown Sugar Confessions. Like our Instagram page, Brown Sugar Confessions. Subscribe to our YouTube page, Brown Sugar Confessions. And get a friend to do the same. We will put your name in a drawing, and on November 11th, we will announce our December guest host. So if you always dreamed of being here in radio, internet land with us on Brown Sugar Confessions. Now is your time. May the odds be in your favor.
May the odds be in your favor. And guess what, guys? It's been a great show. Thank you so much on behalf of me, Doc Val, and all of these beautiful co-hosts. It's been a great show. We will see you. Big hugs and kisses, and our onesies are waving at you. We're going to see you guys next Wednesday at 11 o'clock. We are Brown Sugar Confessions. Play safe, be safe. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.